Hello and welcome. This is Sarah with Med Media Agency, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over a proven call structure that we use here within our agency. So whether you're a dentist, a chiropractor, optometrist, med spa owner, or really just any healthcare professional, you already know how much goes into securing a new patient. It's not as simple as running an advertisement. Of course, there's a detailed process that goes behind every single appointment, and it takes things like consistency, structure, and a whole lot of following up, as you know. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact call structure that we built and then show you why so many doctors partner with a Med Media Agency to let us handle the entire process for them, essentially. So we all know that ads are important. They create awareness, but ads alone just aren't enough. Patients sometimes don't automatically book because they saw that ad. The real work begins after the ad. So this is because leads don't always book right away. Many never answer the first call even. So employees may call once or twice, but then they give up. And if the patient finally does book, a large percentage unfortunately end up no-showing. So this creates wasted time, of course, lost ad spend, and frustration for both the staff and the doctor. It's not that the leads aren't good, it's just that without a system, those leads never turn into patients. So we've recognized this frustrating pattern and have built a structure that ensures those opportunities are not wasted. So I just wanted to touch on 3 outcomes that a good call structure produces. So firstly, of course, it builds trust instantly with that potential prospect. It also qualifies the lead so time just isn't wasted. And it also creates desire so patients are excited to come in. So every patient's journey really begins with a qualifying quiz. After clicking on one of our eye-catching ads, potential patients are then guided to this quiz on the right. So the quiz serves several purposes. It collects things like medical needs so we know exactly what they're seeking. It asks about financial readiness so we know whether or not they're paying from insurance, financing, or paying out of pocket. It also gauges urgency. So are they looking for immediate care or are they just exploring options? And then at the end of the quiz, of course, patients have the choice. They can either book their appointment right then and there, or they can hold off. And that's where our system takes over, so we make sure no leads fall through the cracks. So let's just say a patient doesn't book immediately. They enter our automation sequence, so our system sends them an SMS and an email letting them know that we're aware of their interest and we are inviting them to schedule a call with us. So speed to lead is one of the most critical parts of our system. When a patient fills out a qualifying quiz or responds to an ad, they're at their highest point of interest. So if no one reaches out right away, that excitement can fade fast. And that's why the second we see engagement, we act on it. So our appointment setters call within seconds, not minutes and not hours. And we don't stop at one call. We pair it with text reminders and multiple attempts because most people just don't answer the first time. So this fast, structured response keeps patients engaged and massively increases the chance they actually book an appointment instead of slipping away to another option. Okay, so let's talk about our nurturing system really quick. So not every patient books right away, and that's normal. So some need more time, and without consistent following up, they'll be lost. So that's where our nurture process comes in. After about 5 to 7 call attempts, if a patient still hasn't booked, they're placed into an automated sequence of texts and emails. So these messages keep the clinic on the top of their mind and remind them of the value of care and invite them to schedule when timing is right. So this way, no lead ever goes to waste. And even if someone just isn't ready today, we stay in front of them until they are really. Okay, so getting into our call structure. So this is the structure that we go down after a patient obviously answers the phone. So firstly, we'll start off with greeting and then reason for calling and then the medical situation of that potential patient. And then we move on to qualifying the lead and screening them. And then we soon get into scheduling the appointment after qualification. And then we finally reinforce and secure that appointment. So when we do reach a patient, the way that we greet them matters, of course. First impressions can either make or break the call, and when it's too formal, it just feels too much like a cold telemarketing script, and too casual really makes it feel unprofessional. So you want a good balance, and our approach is pretty conversational. So for example, you want to say something like, "Hi Sarah, it's John from blank clinic, and I'm just getting back to you about the form that you filled out regarding that service. Does that sound about right?" So this simple introduction really does 2 things. It reassures the patient that we're responding to their request, and it creates familiarity. So they immediately recognize that we're calling for their benefit, not just trying to sell them something out of the blue. And that balance is what keeps them engaged. So once we've established that rapport, the next step is really just to listen. This is where many calls honestly fail because too often businesses try to jump right into the selling. So instead, we really take the time to understand what that patient is going through. So what challenges are they facing and how long have they been dealing with it and how may it be impacting their daily life. And most importantly, you want to know what their ideal outcome looks like. So for example, if a patient says they've had back pain for years, we might ask, how has this been affecting your work or your everyday life? And these questions open the door to more meaningful and deeper conversation. So when patients start to picture what their life could look like after treatment, they become emotionally invested. And that emotional investment is the key that moves them toward scheduling. So after listening to the potential prospect, we can finally qualify and screen them. So this step protects the clinic's time and resources, which is significantly important. We can confirm simple but essential things like location. So can they realistically make it to the clinic? Financial commitments. So do they understand that there's a financial investment involved? Financing, will they be paying with insurance or out of pocket? Spouse, so is there a decision maker involved with the appointment? And cost awareness, so does that potential patient have at least a ballpark figure of how much that treatment will be costing? So done properly, this really prevents wasted appointments and it ensures that patients are really serious and prepared to come in. So that's better for both the clinic and the patient, of course. So now that we've qualified the potential patient, we can now move on to scheduling. So firstly, we ask them what time works best for you. This simple phrasing really hands the control back to the patient and increases commitment. So we always aim to book them quickly, same day, next day, or at least within the same week. Really, the longer the gap, the more urgency fades and the more likely they are to forget or cancel. So by creating this balance of urgency and control, we keep patients motivated to essentially follow through. So once that appointment is scheduled, there's just one more thing we have to do. Reinforcement is really what turns a booking into an actual patient who shows up. So we confirm details and send them automated text and email reminders. And in most cases, we actually require a card on file to prevent those no-shows. These touches really hold patients accountable and make sure that they don't forget or drop off. So it's these extra steps that often make the difference between a half-empty schedule and a thriving clinic. So finally, this is the full process in motion. It's obviously pretty clear how much goes into just one patient into a chair. The qualifying quiz, the SMS and email automation, the multiple call attempts, building rapport, understanding their challenges, the qualification and screening stage, scheduling, and then finally that reinforcement with reminders. That's a lot of moving parts, and just for one lead. So then imagine dozens of these flowing in every month. Without a system, it can just get super overwhelming. So guys, at the end of the day, doctors don't go into medicine to chase leads or call no-shows, obviously. Their time is best spent where it matters most, and that's treating those patients. And that's why our partners choose us. We manage everything from the moment a patient clicks on the ad to the moment they're sitting in the chair. So by the time that patient arrives, all the qualifying, the communicating, and that confirmation has been done. For our partners, it means peace of mind, consistent patient flow, and the ability to focus 100% on care. And for us, it means we're delivering on our promise of smarter patient reach. So guys, if you found this video to be informational or give you any sense of clarity, feel free to like and subscribe, and we will talk soon.